Hey there, it's Quist with a quick tutorial on lo-fi guitar sounds. I'm basically going to share with you 10 of my favorite plugins that I use all the time when I am producing lo-fi. And specifically, we're talking about the lo-fi guitar sounds here. Now, if you wanted to learn more about lo-fi production in general, well, I did actually just release a full-on course on that on studio.com, basically showing my entire creation process from coming up with an idea to mixing and mastering a completely finished piece of music. And I go through obviously all of the plugins that I use, all of the production techniques, absolutely every aspect of lo-fi creation. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, check it out. It's linked below. All right, so first thing I should say is I recorded this with Fractal Audio's Axe FX. And, you can use an amp like that, or you can use a real amp if you like, nice warm tubes and that sort of thing. It's absolutely up to you. I basically want to focus on what I do in the DAW. So let's check out plugin number 1. This right here, the Pro Q3. Obviously, EQing is super important, and I just wanted to get that out of the way at the beginning here. The way I do this is, well, I shave a lot of the bottom end off and also a lot of the top off. So let's have a listen. It obviously depends on the piece of music, and also it depends on like what the bass scenario is and that sort of thing. Right now I haven't added a bass, so I could add more bottom end if I wanted to. We'll just leave it like this for now. But that's our first plugin, the very brilliant Pro Q3 from FabFilter. Secondly, I love to add some compressor. Let's just use the good old compressor here from Logic. Obviously, there's a ton of them out there. Well, what I like to do is just add a bit of compression. Sometimes I like really pushing it and putting a lot in there. That might be the kind of vibe you're going for. Very heavily compressed stuff can definitely create a certain lo-fi kind of vibe that's pleasing to the ear. Also, I do like to sidechain it quite a lot of the time. So let's try and sidechain this to the kick, for example. Let's have a look. All right, so that is compressor. Next up is reverb. I'm going to share with you actually a couple of plugins that I love to use. I love to have the reverbs on different buses, basically, and use them like that. So I'll just show you. I've got bus 2 here with Logic's own Space Designer. I've got some old Spring, and I've got another bus here with, again, Space Designer and the huge Dream Hall. So it's like a larger one right there. We'll just do the old Spring for now. And also on that bus, we'll have shaved off some of the lower frequencies here. And I also have this bus here, which has Valhalla. If you don't know Valhalla, definitely check out Valhalla for reverbs. It's absolutely awesome. But I'm going to actually just deal with this one here today. We'll just play around with some old Spring here. Let's have a listen. All right, next up, we got Vinyl, which is an absolutely awesome plugin. I use it a whole lot. It's kind of a staple of lo-fi production. You hear it a lot, and lots of people use it, and it's also free. So check it out. Let's have a listen to it. So you can add some wear here. And you can choose the decade. So obviously, like in terms of mixing as well, you know, it's a lot easier to mix a guitar from 1930 because it's got like such a small band of frequencies. Listen to it. And then you can add the warp as well. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into it. Let's move on to our fifth plugin, the RC20. This one here, I absolutely love this one. And I mean, there's a ton of stuff to be explored here. And I urge you to, you know, take the time to explore it. I'll show you some of the things that I like to use it for. This one here, wobble, is my go-to. You can go wow. All right, so there's a lot to be played with here, just scratching the surface here. Other things you can play with, obviously, noise. A lot of the time I like to get that kind of dust on a separate track and just deal with it that way. But, you know, right here you have a ton of different noise options, distortion as well. And space here is quite a nice reverb that you can play around with. A great plugin, this one, RC20. Check it out. Let's check out the real ADT. Quite a special kind of sound. Actually, let's check out one of their presets, Guitar Movement. I like that one. So if you're mixing, you know, this one can kind of help you find a place for the guitar. Obviously here it's huge. And I mean, that might be the kind of vibe if you've created a very guitar-y kind of lo-fi beat where the guitar is the main focus. Well, then you might want this kind of vibe. Let's move on to the next one, which is Sketch Cassette. Absolutely awesome plugin. Let's have a listen. Let's try something like Clean and Subtle. So again, you get that lush like flutter and you get the wow. Absolutely love that stuff. And it sounds great on the Sketch Cassette. They use it on larger buses as well because it does a thing if you're looking for that lo-fi sound. So we can shave off a ton of the higher frequencies by going to the worn side here. Just makes it a little darker. loads to be explored in the Sketch Cassette as well. 3 more to go. This one here is Timeless. I obviously use that one quite a lot for lead sounds, especially. I love to have some delay on there when I do like the lead parts. For now, well, we've got a bit of a riff here. I want to show you just a couple of the presets that you can experiment with. So yeah, these are just, modulation basically, but there's tons of stuff you can play around with in the Timeless. Loads of different types of delays, lots to be explored. Next up, we've got the Shaperbox, really, really handy plugin as well. I use that a lot. Let's see what we got. Let's go to pan and width. Lots to be explored in this one as well. That is the Shaperbox, which brings us to the very last one, Wider. So let's put a few of them together. Let's see, we'll get some vinyl going. Maybe 60, get a little bit of warp happening here. And maybe a tiny bit of this wobble here. Some flutter and compressor. That's it. I hope you'll have tons of fun with these plugins here. Obviously, some of them are free, some of them cost a bit of money. All of them are worth your time. And like I said, if you want to learn more about lo-fi production in general, do check out my course on studio.com. It is linked below. Also, if you have any requests for more tutorials of any kind, let me know. Obviously, most of my tutorials live in my Patreon library. That's where you'll find the vast majority of this type of content. But I want to put out a couple here and there on YouTube going forward. So I'm open to it. Let me know if you have any requests for any kind of specific things. I'll see what I can do. So that's it. I'll see you soon.